Delta smelt are a fish with a complicated history.
From the beginning of my career, we used to go out and collect 4,000 Delta smelt within a couple days. Over the last couple years, we've basically had zero.
Which means a lot of effort has gone towards helping this small fish avoid extinction. Part of that effort was a multi-day excursion on the Sacramento River Deepwater Ship Channel.
None of this has been done before.
The Department of Water Resources and partners from UC Davis, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Bureau of Reclamation, and U.S. Geological Survey have all teamed up for one of the first ever soft releases of Delta smelt. DWR Senior Environmental Scientist Trishelle Temple explains what makes this so different.
So in a hard release, essentially, we just load the fish up and we put them directly in the river. But in a soft release, we take those same fish and we put them in a closure, and that kind of gives them time to get used to their surroundings, maybe slow down some of their stress levels, and hopefully prepare them for a little better success once they get out in the water.
While it sounds simple, it takes a lot of work and preparation to make happen. First, UC Davis Fish Conservation Culture Laboratory had to grow and raise about 50,000 Delta smelt.
The refuge population started 2006, 2007, and now we're at this point. Davis is responsible for collecting wild specimens, bringing them into the labs, spawning them into a refuge population, so we can maintain the genetic diversity of this population. 6,500 Delta smelt will be part of the soft release. But before they even get near the water, the team was out the day before, hoisting, then lowering, and then fastening 2 round 7-foot diameter cages into the river. Dennis Cockrell's team at the UC Davis Fish Conservation Physiology Lab were responsible for designing these unique enclosures.
It just looks like a steel sheet with holes in it, but actually the spacing makes a difference for how the hydraulics approach the cage and what the fish actually experience within the cage. So the cage was designed to actually reduce the flow of the river as the flow of the river increases in speed, but yet still enough water passing through to replenish nutrients and replenish the oxygen and deplete ammonia that may build up with that many fish actually in the cage.
So what's it like for the fish in that cage?
Well, you're just kind of hanging out with your friends.
The design team spent years to ensure the cage achieved that level of comfort.
We tested 14 different kinds of cage materials, one around edges to shed debris loading off the front of the cage from the environment. Black cage, there's a reason for that, not using stainless steel. We actually use the painted because the tanks they're reared in are black.
The day after the cages are installed, the team goes back out to carefully introduce the Delta smelt to the water, where they will spend the next 48 hours in their new safe space. And those 2 days are when the benefits of the soft release begin to build.
They can experience the tide cycle, they can experience the sun and the moon versus having a cover over their tank. They can experience if predators come by looking for them, a boat noise, just anything in the environment that they might need to experience as a group, so then when they are released, they can hopefully stay together as a pelagic fish in school.
After those 48 hours are up, the last unique design aspect of the cages comes into play.
We could release the fish out of the bottom of the cage, but they'll go straight down, and then they won't disperse as a school. So the idea came, well, what if we just remove the cage away from the fish in the school, and then they're sitting in the water with no cage around them anymore?
To do that, the tops are detached. The air is removed from the side tanks, which sinks the cage down, so the fish can come out together and swim away. And thanks to this project's multi-agency partners, the team is confident they are giving the fish the best chance possible for survival.
The USGS's sound imaging system, we know that they're leaving as a group of fish, and that's exactly what we wanted.
Now, it becomes a matter of time to see if soft release is a success.
Our hope with these fish, they're equipped with a special little tag that distinguishes that they came from our releases. Our hope is that they'll pick some of those up in those long-term monitoring programs, and we can find out, how they did and where they went and how long they lived.
In the meantime, the team is looking ahead.
So we've actually already started spawning the next batch to be released this following winter.
And staying optimistic.
There's this ongoing thought of Delta smelt as this really wimpy fish, and there's this, if you look at them, they're gonna die. If you do anything, they're gonna die. But they're actually, I think, more resilient than people give them credit for.
It's exciting to see our babies go out into the environment and be caught later on. I mean, yes, they're being caught, but that means they're still alive, which means the environment is still good for Delta smelt. We still have opportunity to save a species.